Okay, so Trump Trump is now your president, right? And we have a migrant situation, in New York. You know what I'm saying, with all of these migrants, and you know, I was watching the news and I seen that Trump had appointed you know, um, some dude, that has kind of a old school conservative style to handle this the border situation, and of course we're going to have to, um, you know, deport, do a mass deportation, and this is what Trump is planning um, under his administration to resolve the migrant crisis in New York. And if you think about it, voting wise, as I was saying, to see if you as a citizen really matter is, it had to happen this way. Like, as far as my point with Kamala Harris is the fact that it was always predetermined that it was going to be Trump at this appointed time. Now, it's no need to stress the trip over it because, it's written in scripture that, God is in control and God controls, what I'm saying, who is going to be, where they're going to be in life. All right. And so this is Trump's position, rightfully so now, by any means that he got in there. All right. If it wasn't going to be, then it wouldn't. All right. So when you take that situation and line it up with the fact that Christ knew that he was going to die or have to go through this, such hardship and torture, there was no event or no friend or anyone or anything, all right, that exists that was going to stop, all right, Christ from going to the cross, right? Because it was just in God's will. Such is the same that as a Christian country, we should consider our president. We don't have to always agree with what the president is saying, but we got to do better as a country by supporting the president that we have in there. Otherwise, for the most part, it's going to throw everything else in derision. All right, that's the man that is driving the car. But you know, um, Trump, with this mass deportation, watching in the news, it showed that Spirit Airlines was flying over Haiti, okay, and in Haiti they started shooting at the plane. Is a commercial airliner. You know what I'm saying? People were on the plane. They started shooting at the plane in the air. Bullets went all through the plane and into the cabin. Luckily, there were very exceedingly minor injuries, not even worth mentioning. I think it was like someone kind of got scratched or something by a bullet, but nobody actually got hit. Which means God activity happened, because somebody definitely would have died. All right, on that plane. That means that God, God did something where them bullets just hit the cabin. But you can't fly over Haiti. This was a flight that was coming from Florida and going to Haiti. So if you think about it, it's just kind of a strong sign with the migrant situation. How many migrants do we have from Haiti? And the fact that, with the Haiti relief and everything like that, for a commercial airliner from the United States flying over Haiti gets, what I'm saying, gets gunned at with passengers aboard. Okay. So if we have a mass deportation and there's individuals that are from Haiti, I don't know how America's going to get them there, because I guess there's some type of civil unrest and they're even shooting at commercial airliners. Okay. And it's a pretty big deal, in specifically with the Haiti relief, for them to be firing at commercial airlines. That means they ain't fucking with nobody. They ain't dealing with nobody's drama or BS. So that looks like it would be problematic on the horizon if we're going to have a mass deportation. And obviously a lot of those individuals probably have escaped from Haiti. How are you going to get those citizens back to Haiti? So there's a lot of individuals that we're going to have to adopt as well. Okay. And then you can't have favoritism and things of this nature with this big of a problem. But let's be honest, man. What caused masses and floods of individuals to become migrants, with civil arrests happening from where they were residing, all at the same time, where we get all these migrants at once. Okay. And for Trump to be in the midst of this migrant situation, he had to be well aware of it, probably before he was even a president the first term, right? As he was on the first term, right? So it shows that he has understanding and he has knowledge of things to come, or at least things that may be happening in the works. Okay. And this being one of those things, and one of the things that's going to cause him to be decorated. I think it was last year that now is mandatory for the most part in the United States that you have a real ID. That means your standard driver's license and what have you is not considered to be a real form of ID anymore. Okay, or a passport. There was updates done to these things. So you have a migrant situation of colored peoples, and you have colored peoples in the United States with the implementation of the real ID. You know what I'm saying? You're creating a situation along with these active shooters of homegrown terrorists where the colored man becomes under public scrutiny and watch, just in terms of spiritually how individuals in society may associate certain characteristics and traits to migrants, also would associate them with certain colors of people. Okay. And this is like a meta level, like in terms of how people think and understand things. People who are really like keyed into this thing and a certain spirit that Trump brings. Okay. And I do not have the temperament after I've been through all this targeting. I'm not the one. All right. But I'm telling you the truth. These things over time, and if it sound ridiculous now, many things I said before sound ridiculous, and then they happen, right? So the point of measure is, if Trump was always going to be in this office, and I was telling you back with in Biden's administration, how I was, I guess just supporting their efforts, and how his hands, I felt like I sensed that his hands were tied, okay, with many different things. That if you have a president that's already in office in the midst of these wars that's happening in other countries, like all these things set off at once on Biden. You got to take that into account. All these wars set off at the same time, and then you get this migrant situation on top of that with border control, which echoes back to Trump with the landing of the impact of those stimulus packages, or those stimulus checks that we got during Trump's administration. And I'll be honest, I was grateful to get mine, but we knew that this thing was going to have a back sting. We cannot then blame this on the Democratic Party. All of this landed on top of Biden, the mess that Biden had to inherit. Okay. And Trump, you know what I'm saying? He was on this wave formerly about a migrant situation and border patrol as well. Okay. So I think it speaks a lot pertaining to our country, pertaining to border patrol, that this issue would have been a long issue running. Why the beef up now? There's something going on with that. And pertaining to all the US dollars that it will take for you to finance building this wall and beefing up on border control. I mean, are we starting to look as a fascist country? Are we changing from the native directive of the Constitution, even so subtly, based on something that happened that would almost seem to be propagandic and necessary, based upon that all these migrants start popping up all of a sudden for it to be reported on the news and be big news for quite some time, in which there are many sacrifices and fingers in which we have the luxury to point to blame for our insolences, to cover up our messes and deport them along with a certain uh, je ne sais quoi, or picture or photograph of individuals depicting their certain characteristics that sits in the back seat of one's minds when they make comments and they walk by me and they think that I'm blind. And I say, Ray, people don't understand what I'm talking about. So I think that when it comes to conscious things, when it comes to spiritual things, when it comes to connections and internet, foreign relations, Trump's former relationships, and the implementation of this wall, it's going to be very interesting to see how these ties manifest with our foreign so-called issues that we have right now. But in order for all them people to leave their country and come here and do this whole migrant thing, at the same time, it had to be a memo, man. A mass memo had to go out or something. All right. This this is good. This is a very interesting situation in which, where are we going to get the manpower for that border patrol? Also, you know, maybe we will pull from reserves or the military, but that would also take from some of our supplies. Or do we call for the help of potentially like the UN, where we now have a different set of foreigners under an allegiance or an alliance protecting the home front of America, which would, these things would seem to connotate an echoing of our freedoms and our free will slipping away in subtle ways as we go down this road, and people are liberated. Maybe they have gotten into marijuana and they're more relaxed and they're too traumatized by the news, so on and so forth. That all of these changes, which are drastic and meta, are hardly a thought even in their mind, even let alone a receding hairline out of concern. These are high political affairs in which citizens are not natively interested in. I haven't heard too many New Yorkers complain about the migrant situation. And I think this is very interesting as well. There are many ways that we could utilize these migrants pertaining to military force and things of this nature, if they're willing to work for their shelter and food. And I think that's fair if they're evading a situation. But this would almost seem like a work that all these migrants came at once. And yet we have all these funds that we could just hand out or do these things with. We have an access of money in the government right now for this is an expensive problem that I suppose was formulated and afforded. We didn't just get hit out of nowhere in our pockets by migrants. Okay, by a migrant situation. This had to be a planned migrant situation, which individuals can capitalize off a journey a little get ahead before returning to their countries. But if there is no smoke between America returning migrants to Haiti after a commercial airline was shot, that's going to be interesting. If you don't have a real ID, I would suggest that to go ahead and get you one, because it could be a potential problem with this migrant situation pertaining to profiling, so on and so forth. All right. This opens up a levee for a lot of fucking mistakes in a world that's just kind of gone pandemonium, pertaining to profiling. In this world, if you see something, say something, this could spin a myriad of different ways. All right. But this has had to have been a plan, and to prove my point, even with Kamala at the front answering how they were going to handle certain problems, and Donald Trump doing public relations like just PRs with celebrities and things of this nature, how that overshadowed actual plans being shared with you by the Democratic Party to handle some of these problems. being realistic and truthful, then it shows the nature of our country, and the spirit of our country is not as what we say. Okay? It definitely shows a lack of competence. It shows favoritism. And it shows that individuals are zombies. They are not thinking, just like I told you. People are not thinking. All right? But do I care whether Trump is the president or Kamala? No. My original point was you cannot derail Trump from becoming president. You understand what I'm saying? At most, you could give him a run for it. And now, think about it. Trump has settled his court case situation because he can't go to jail for any of those 34 felonies he had pending. He also has a pre-plan to distract individuals into something good along with his core audience for propaganda and removing the migrants that was already pre-planned by the Illuminati. You understand? So he's getting rid of two problems, and there's a massive bag in the United States which he probably has his hand in, and these things will be going unchecked. Okay? This is the truth of the nature, and this is the true depiction of the free world, to have Fisk as our president. Peace and blessings be with you all. It's not the president that's in office. It is the people who put that president in office, and what is the caliber and integrity of their mind, which creates the power, aka manpower, all right, of this country. That would correlate with Allah, arm, leg, arm, head. The manpower of this country, or mother, as you would call. Okay. But as far as the foreigners, I don't know why they wouldn't use them as somewhat free enterprise if they're going to hand out housing, to use them for the military. All right. You know, how many of these individuals have co-signed onto our country that will join our country, join the military, and resort back to active duty on border control under supervision as an active military force, right? But maybe my ways are too Machiavellian for you to understand. I'm just saying that pertaining to being a black man in this country and seeing the way that the migrants were treated, to know that they were compensated, though they weren't, for their trip. Here I am, that with 2 college degrees, can't get a part-time job in the heartland of America. Peace and blessings be with you all. I'm out.